Today, I want to talk about the Desolate Desert Map, and literally the map, because this is going to be a really interesting game mode for Age of Empires Mobile, because it is the first ever actual KvK. This is what we've been waiting for a while, and it's already here for the game. We've got Mightiest Empire, we've got the Golden Expedition, which are like mini KvK events where you're kind of invading into each other's area, but this is what it's all about. Going on a fresh bit of pain, a fresh map, and fighting against other empires as your whole empire, as a team, working together and destroying the enemy, right? And what we're going to do today is honestly talk about the map and all the different sections, what you need to honestly think about when it comes to connection. And I am going to even go into the real world map so you can even have a good preview look at all the different areas for terms of building speeds, you know, which is the best ways to build pathwise and the best buildings to capture, because each of this is very important in terms of winning, because you're going to realize there's buffs involved, there's points involved, and obviously that all comes to who's going to win at the end. So smash like, comment, and subscribe. Let's dive into today's video. And obviously, the first thing is that everyone should know with the Desolate Desert Map, you're going to be spawning into one of the 4 corners here. If you're in any of the empires, you'll realize you'll get assigned one. Our Pioneer test server got assigned this little red wolf, while the others got the snake up at the top corner. Once you are in here, you're only in here for 1 day, so you really do need to prepare killing all the tribes that are around you, as well as getting those flags built to the pass. And this is going to allow you then to start entering, as you can imagine, into the next zone. So you need to build your stronghold, build your pass, start prepping up, killing some tribes, and hitting up the higher level content before going into day 2, because day 2 is going to open the passes here for everyone and allow you to actually enter the forbidden zone. You just got to be wary though, because at first in day 2 you are going to be divided off by these different types of passes. So you can see each side has 2 passes, and honestly it does make you really think and consider what is the best way of potentially approaching this. Because if we just bring up our good old live view tool, you guys will enjoy, we'll be able to talk about how a alliance like the Snakes can build and try to prevent a potential catastrophe. Because you got to think, these guys are going to all appear in this area, right? And from here, they're going to have to build out at least to one of these capital cities, and you're going to see why it's important to build to these because of buffs. But then you're going to be touching at least this tower. This is a secured tower for your side, unless you get pushed by the enemy on the opposite side of the map, aka the wolves in this scenario. So otherwise, these guys are going to build in some sort of fashion like so, because this is going to allow them to connect the main actual power buildings that they need, which are going to give them points as well as give them buffs to fight for the main objective in the neutral zone, which is going to be these towers for points, right? While they're doing that now, you've got to think, even if these guys build out, and let's just say this is what their land looks like, all of this is now free. And what this occurs then, as you can imagine, being the good old purple side, you could then, as you can imagine, invade in. And as invading in, you could cut out, bang, 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 from behind, and these guys are gonna have to address it. So for anyone in the Snake team, you got to think now, okay, that is logical, that makes sense, and the easiest way to approach it, as you can imagine, is going to be simply to build to block, right? And it's going to be quite difficult to do this, because you got to think now, as the Snake team, you are now defending one potential empire from invading, as well as facing the Wolf Empire, right? You're fighting a 2 empire fight already potentially, because these guys over here could easily be knocking on the door, because you got to think as well, you've got to defend now not one spot here, so you got 1, 2 spots here, now you got to defend a 3rd spot over here, and that's not even potentially your pass that could be getting pushed down to by the enemy, which is 4 spots. So you've got to think as an empire. If you're in the council, if you're the war leaders right now, you need to be looking at this map and doing similar things like this to think, okay, how are we going to actually deal with this? Because potentially what could happen is with the green team here, they and the red team, right, could partner up. And this is going to be down to diplomacy, which is one of the most important things in KvKs when you start to play city building games. Having a good diplomatic person who's able to bridge the connection between the snakes and the wolves could create a partnership now where the wolves, as you can imagine, will build out and then block all of their area right above too. And if they're able to block each other's areas and defend with the goal to say, look, we're going to settle it in the main zone and you guys are obviously going to come in with us in this main zone, we can at least have some fun and try to compete for the finale. But that is diplomacy. And at the same time, with that diplomacy, guys can guess it, drama, backstabs, all of that gas can occur. And this is what honestly makes these games really exciting and honestly really fun and engaging when you start to hear some of the honestly nightmare stories and some of the craziest backstabs that's happened in history. And it's these type of stories through KvKs and KvKs and KvKs that honestly create the history and create a massive community as well. So I am honestly looking forward to it, and you can see already that is just the base level. That's just the base level of looking at the map and talking about it with a little bit of live draw. Now let's actually go into the map. Let's showcase what these buildings look like properly and why they're really important, and even for you guys, build paths, because as you can imagine, when you're building on this map, you got to really think what is going to be the most optimal way of building. And I'm not saying we've got the most optimal ways at all, but you can see it's pretty darn optimal where you are going, because you're trying to just get to places and touching them because of how many areas you need to get to as fast as possible. The cities here, as you can see when we go in, are going to give you some really powerful buffs for your accounts. This is all units attack buff, right? So all of your pikemen, archers, your infantry, your swordsmen and your cavalry, all of your units are going to get 10% extra attack. And this is for everyone in the empire is going to have this basically, right? So you're going to be wanting this, right, for your alliance, and that's going to be fighting in. When you come out, you'll see even more. There's even stronger ones, right? So that's like an okay one. You've got our stronghold here, but if we go into this city, this one's going to be the 5% HP, right? So you can get 5% HP if you control this for your team. Again, super powerful in order to do so. And you can see as well, if you ever wonder who controls it, by just having this little symbol here, so you can see our empire, the Wolf Empire, control it at the moment, right? We zoom out now, you can see in the center, this is one of the tower of rotations. And this is what we've been defending, this is what we've been reinforcing for a little while, and it's been really fun to do so. And here again, damage increase 6%. So this is the big ticket one. This is what's going to make everyone here even harder. And as you can imagine, if you control it and your opponents don't, that is creating that imbalance where you should, in theory, be trading more positive over them. So this is one of those things in the neutral zone you really need to be on point with. Garrisoning it, fighting it, killing all the guardians that will spawn around this building too for extra points. All of that jazz is going to be all in here. What you can do, and obviously just to kind of showcase it off as a little joke, you could try to invade even further. So even though we control this now, we do have the ability to potentially try to push even deeper, right? So we can try to get around these guys and just cut them off, right? And take control of their city here. And as you can imagine, their city is going to be the same as ours. So even if we captured this one now, we're going to have 10% extra health while these don't, right? And I do hope they stack, otherwise I'm going to be really upset about this video part here. So I do apologize if I'm wrong on there. It's been a very long time since I've understood the city buffs, if they all stack on top of each other or not, but I do believe they do as of now, right? So if you're able to do that, it's going to be powerful. And even if you still take it and don't get the buff, you've taken it away from them. So again, creating a HP differential. Either way, it's a win-win for you guys, right? So now let's move into the level 9 tower, because the level 9 towers are really cool. But level 9 towers for each side, as you've noticed, are going to be kind of caved in. And like I said, these are kind of safety nets. So even if you're on this side, you should be quite safe that no one can steal it from the back door. You're going to have to beat them and come through one of these pathways here and work your way around in order to touch one of 2 tiles. And that is going to be the same on the other side. So we can come back over here and jump in. We've got these tiles. You got 1 tile here, 2 tiles here. So you can have 2 tiles and you can touch it from wrapping around this way or that way. I actually really like that. It's pretty balanced, and it means that only technically 2 alliances should be able to try to rally in it and be in contention of it at any given point. So it is going to be interesting when it comes to your rally making decisions, what you're going to be doing on that, right? Is it worth taking? Because the tower rotations here, before I actually disappear, if it lets me click on it properly, there we go, gives you damage reduction. So this level 9 one is going to give you the opposite, obviously the last one, which is in the middle, and everyone does get this, right? Both sides get this. So if you're able to take it off them, again, that's going to be even more benefits to you. So you can see why I've been trying to make an emphasis on today's video on the map, why the map is so important, why you need to realize you can be getting your buildings literally stolen off you by anyone here from your left to your right, because obviously all this is occurring in day 2, but in day 3 these could be opened, right? These goals can be opened, allowing you to do the same thing here. So this is why you really need to understand what are the big power ticket buildings, what you need to be doing to defend them, and why I'm kind of stressing about it a lot. So the only thing I'm going to do now is kind of showcase some of the actual tiling. So you can see here, obviously we can start from this side, and you'll notice it is almost mirrored on most of the corners. So if you're trying to get up to this one here, you can obviously just draw it out on the map. You guys can take a screenshot right now if you want to, and if you do, I'll even hide myself for you guys, and you can see we're going to just use our good old live draw that's been hiding in the background, and you can see we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? We can do that because of this connection here allows us to do some sneaky little beaky little buildings, you know what I'm saying? Otherwise, you'd be doing 3, 4, and 5 that way, or you'd be bad and do 5 and 6. So really important to have a good look at that. This is going to be your first kind of area if you want to look at that, and I will bring myself back into shot so you guys can see my beautiful face again. And now from here, you got to think, you're going to be looking at these 2 passes, because these 2 passes are going to be obviously the next thing you need to defend. So even from this one, you can do like 1, 2, 3, 4. You can do straight line. That's going to be very costly, but you could definitely do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7, 8, 9, 10. Maybe you can get 10 to 9. If you're really clever with it. You can zoom in a little bit more. You can see there is some little nooks and crannies where you're able to potentially get this working for yourself. Obviously, you guys are master builders. If we go over here, from the city that you can control, you'd actually do it off here. So you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you're there. Good as golden. You could even potentially try and do something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it's still the same 6, so you could be probably 5 to 6 on their flags that you're going to need to build up. And then now you can imagine we go into the Tower of Rotation. So this one's quite easy, right? You can actually build a stronghold here, which we did, and instantly be basically touching it. It's 1, 2 flags and you're on. And then from here, you can actually build around like we did. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. You're on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you could technically cut these out. So there's 1, 2. So you might be able to do something here potentially where you could delete 1 flag and save yourself 1 building flag. But again, this is where you guys, the master builders, will be able to have a look. You can see what we have done here, and I do apologize because of all the obviously tags there that we've got, but you can see this is 1 flag, 2 flags, 3 flags. This is the 4th flag here, but this is obviously a stronghold, and you got 5, 6, 7. And then if you zoom back out, should have a great picture of that. So again, during any of this section, obviously if you want to pause the videos, obviously I have been moving quite fast. I don't want the video to go too long, but if you want to take a screenshot and obviously start working on this map, you're happy to do so, right? So that's going to be that area. And now moving on, just to showcase, these are the paths to this pass. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, and then here is the blockade that you're gonna have to do. So you can see these guys were trying to build around us, but we obviously matched them quite easily. And we can do the same thing here if we really wanted to and try to cut them off and capture their city. But that's kind of the beauty of these like KvKs, all this flag building and all this territory matching and all the honestly war leads really thinking, and then the people that aren't war leads executing the plans and going through the plans, and it's these really crazy wars. I can't wait. I'm excited for it. Honestly, you can see I'm passionate about it, especially in today's video. Just to kind of zoom out now, just to showcase the top side here, it's going to be very similar to what we've seen before. You'll notice it is, if we just kind of zoom it like that, which is quite perfect, you'll be able to see it's a very similar pattern no matter where you're gonna go. So if you remember all of the numbers, or if you go back in the video and talk about all the numbers that I've said, so like it takes 5 to 6 flags to get to here, 10 flags to get to here, you'll notice it's very similar no matter what we go for in these scenarios. So the devs have done a pretty good job, I'll be honest, at mirroring a really good amount of territory, but they've done really sneaky bits as well, like these 4 tiles where they're able to touch in these little nooky crannies and let you potentially save that 1, maybe save 2 extra flags in your build paths. So that's just to showcase the top side for you, so you can see all of your starting tiles going into obviously now what the cities look like touching each other really quick. 1, 2, bing, bash, bosh. You know what I'm saying? 1, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, or maybe 3 for this one too, potentially 2 if you zoom in. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. So you can definitely see it if you're a builder. I used to be a little mini builder in other games, and you can see these guys are building 2 flags to touch this one, right? So really important. And if we go to just the opposite side, just for argument's sake, and we'll move on, you'll notice it's going to be replicated, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 here. So actually it's a little bit shorter on this path, which isn't too bad. Obviously it doesn't make much of a difference because that's on day 3, so you can easily prepare for that. But coming into this section now, if we go from the light bearer's dock, you've got 1, maybe 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 potentially. 5 to 6 off that landing. Then we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to touch that goal. So that's easy that way. You can go this way then and then move alongwards. So yeah, I'm going to just kind of give you guys a quick now pan of the map. You can, again, pause it at your leisure and think on how you would honestly build across this. You got to think the passes are just down here above my head roll, just so you guys can see. And then I'm going to move up. And then we're moving on to the final and last area, the center. Because the center looks really interesting for the map. If you want to really dive in, you'll notice that what the devs have done is created obviously these sunflower divisions to ensure you're able to at least get into the fight, which is quite nice. So you'll notice it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 5 this way, and you're basically touching almost. You're 1 away from touching, and that is the same wherever you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're 1 away. Even if you go this way, you're on 4, and then 5 again, so you're 1 away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're 1 away from touching again. So really good. And what's nice about it is these mountains. So these mountains and obviously the rivers, as you guys will know, allows it so no one can do some stupid shenanigans. But if you are positioned on here, I will warn you, this river is going to be short enough potentially for trebuchets to trebuchet you away. So make sure you are not close to any coastline edges in the center, otherwise you will get punished by other players, and that's going to be a little sneaky tip and trick for this video. So apart from that, you'll notice it's a pretty fair middle map. If we zoom into the Aru, you've got a ton, honestly, a ton of touching tiles, so everyone's going to be able to easily touch and potentially compete for this Aru palace, right? And you'll notice when we start to zoom in, it's really open, right? It's really open, right? It's super open. There's no crazy walls at the moment or all like that. There's nothing blocking it. You just go in and start cooking. And I think a lot of people are going to actually really enjoy that for the palace. And even if you zoom in, you'll notice there is no actual buffs for the palace. I know many of you guys will probably ask this in the comments, so I'm going to cover it here. No buffs. The only things that these do, as you can see, is the contest points that you earn for holding it as an empire, aka as an alliance as well, right? So really, really cool. That is honestly the entire map covered in today's video, and I thought this one would be a little bit unique. I wanted to test the waters, honestly, about it, and I don't know if this would be something you guys want to see more often. Do you want to see more videos talking about map building and how you can maybe really take advantage of building around this way and then deleting flags to get maximum, you know, flags efficiency and making them cheaper and all of that jazz? We can do more videos like this, and I thought, why not try it for once, right? One time go, and if you guys like it and it gets really popular, we can try it out again, right? So let me know what you think too. The good old map here. This is the Desolate Desert Map. This is the brand new KvK coming to Age of Empires Mobile. That is a 4-way free-for-all as it's set up, with the potential chance for any of the empires to potentially do some diplomacy and do some really funky stuff in these wars. So if you enjoyed this concept, if you enjoyed this video, smash like, comment, and subscribe. And until the next one, stay safe, stay sneaky, guys. Peace out.